Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Maria Cartaya and I'm in charge of communications here at EXTRANJERIA Abogados. And today we're gonna dedicate this video to you. We have asked you on Facebook to leave questions for us to answer. We're very happy, but we got a lot of questions, so we might not get to all of them in this video. If we do not, we're gonna make a second video so that we make sure that we answer all of them, okay? Also, I want to remind you that I'm not a lawyer, I'm in charge of communications, but all of these answers have been given to me by our lawyers at EXTRANJERIA Abogados. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading because I want you to have the correct answers for all of your questions. So let's start with the first question. Can the 3-year visa modification be done after 3.5 years or 4 years? Or does it have to be in the 90 days before the expiration date of the 3rd year? And can you renew your student visa for a 4th year at the same time in case the modification isn't approved? Yes, they ask for a minimum of 3 years of continuous studies. So you can apply for both at the same time, and then depending on which one comes out first, you can cancel one or the other. If you have a residency card with work permission and leave Spain for a few years and decide to move back in the future, is there an easier process to go through in order to get a new card and move back to Spain? This is in the case that your residency expired while outside of Spain and was not renewed. If you have residency here in Spain and you lost it because you were not in Spain and were not here for the required time, then you must start the process from zero and apply for a new residency. The exception is if you had a tarjeta de residencia de larga duración o larga duración UE. These two you can always recover, okay? If you would like to know how to obtain one of these long-term residencies or larga duración UE, come for a consultation so that our lawyer can explain to you the process further and in detail. Can someone who had a student visa for 4 years, continuously renewed in Spain, and then modified to a cuenta ajena for 3 years, apply for a long-term European or Spanish residency? How do the student visa years count, and how long does the process take? You need 5 years of continuous residency here in Spain in order to apply for the long-term Spanish residency. Okay? The time that you spend in Spain as a student are not considered. Why? Because if you're here with an authorization to be in the country as a student, that means you're here to study. So those years as a student do not count and are not considered. The application usually should take no longer than 3 months after presentation. And then we want to add that half of the time counts towards applying for a residencia de larga duración UE. So basically, if you were here as a student for 4 years, those years don't count, but 2 of those years could count towards being able to apply for the residencia de larga duración UE. Arraigo social process with a work contract. What documents do you need? Can you travel while your papers are being processed and you're waiting for a favorable outcome? And what exactly your work contract should state? You need to have a residency or student card in date in order to travel. In certain situations, you can request an authorization letter to return, but this is applicable only in renewals and when the case is already favorable, but you cannot wait for the card to be issued, okay? As to your contract, since the information is more specific to each case, we would also recommend to come see a lawyer for a consultation, as they can probably tell you specifically what the contract should say. What are the options for a non-EU citizen who has resided in the EU 5+ years, 3 of those years in Spain, and completed a master's degree in Spain to get permanent residency? Also, if you could include more information about the new researcher's visa and eligibility requirements for it. In order for you to obtain a residencia de larga duración or residencia de larga duración UE, you need to have lived in Spain for 5 years, and these 5 years have to be continuously. So for this specific question, the person said they have lived in the European Union for 5 years, but only 3 of those years were in Spain. So that would not count. It has to be 5 continuous years in Spain. Okay? If you have lived in Spain for 3 years, it doesn't apply. However, if you have completed a master's degree in the last 2 years, you can apply for the residency to search for work. Or you can apply for the residency that will allow you to do an internship here in Spain. We have videos explaining both of those processes in our YouTube channel, so I encourage you to go watch them, and then if you still have any questions, you can contact us and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Is it possible to apply for a visa status change if you are from an Ibero-American country by birth and have the nationality while you are here in Spain with a student visa as a language assistance with the American citizenship? Or is it obligatory to enter the country with the Ibero-American passport to be considered? Okay, first of all, if you're applying for Spanish nationality based on your residency in the country, you will need to have residency, okay? Please be advised that being here as a student doesn't mean that you are a resident. You are not considered a resident if you're only here as a student. So, depending on the country that you come from, the amount of time you need as a residency can change. With an Ibero-American country, for example, in your case, it is 2 years. So recently, the subdirector of the Ministry of Justice has confirmed that you can apply for Spanish nationality using your Ibero-American nationality, even if your residency has been obtained with a different nationality. So this means that if you are from an Ibero-American country, you can take the 2 years and you would only have to wait for 2 years. But you need to make sure that you are here as a resident, because if you are here as a student, that doesn't count as a residency, okay? What is the whole process of an American marrying a Spaniard in Zaragoza, Spain, and how soon can you begin working? Okay, for this question, I'm not gonna go into details into every requirement that you need to get married in Zaragoza. For that, I will recommend you come for a consultation. However, once you're married, you can apply for the TFUE, which means the Tarjeta de Familiar Unión Europea, or the EU Family Member Card. And if you successfully apply for that card, once you have it, you will be able to work throughout Spain without a problem. Okay? The next question was, how about a video on arraigo social? And yes, since we have gotten so many questions about arraigo social, I am gonna make a different video and then I'll publish it on the group once it's done, okay? If you get a work visa from one employer and then you quit, can you work under the same visa for a different employer as long as the visa is valid? Okay, so let's start by saying that your work visa is linked to the employment you used to obtain it, okay? So, should you lose that employment, then you will have to reapply for your residency, and how you request it will depend on your circumstances at the time. If you have tarjeta de residencia and you work por cuenta ajena, you can work with any company you like, same as a Spaniard. So keep in mind this, because if you do have tarjeta de residencia and you work for cuenta ajena, then you could work for any employer. However, if you have a residency because you're altamente cualificado or you're emprendedor, then your work visa is linked to the employment you used to obtain it. Pareja de hecho and then being able to work in Andalusia. Well, we want to start by saying we're not sure what you want to know specifically about pareja de hecho, but what we can tell you is you need to think of your pareja de hecho and your residency as two completely separate things with their own rules, okay? Pareja de hecho does not grant you residency or the right to work. It allows you to apply for residency based on your legal recognized relationship to a Spanish citizen. If you successfully apply for the EU family card, then you will be able to work throughout Spain. However, it's very important to remember that should you move to another province, You will need to register your pareja de hecho in the new province because in each province, pareja de hecho has their own separate rules. So keep this in mind.